We're going to start with some belly down swans, guys. Hello. Hi. Hello, everyone. Good morning. If you would like to use a foam roller today, you can use that. If you want to just use the floor, you'll be able to use that. There it is. Everyone's coming in. So if you'd like to use the floor, the foam roller, your elbows are on. Now your belly's going to pull in as you lift up your torso. So here we go. Hello, there it is. Everybody's got a foam roller this morning. Wonderful. So we're starting with this. I can see people coming in and just warming up. Now, as you press your arms down, I like to press with the pinky side because that's neurologically tied to the serratus. So it's going to help keep the scapula stable on the back. And there's a little bit of an abdominal lift, as if you have a piece of ice underneath your belly button, and you have a little bit of a pull in the waist, so you don't feel like you're collapsing in the lower back. And you're just going at your own pace. We're waking up these thoracic extensors. This is going to feel good after being forward during the day. Breathe in, inhale. That's it. There's a little energy in your legs. You can feel the hamstrings and the glutes, but you're not contracting your glutes so much that they're cracking walnuts. So now we're going to be staying up and building our endurance. So when you're ready, inhale, lift up. Now we're going to hold here, the scapular down the back, the neck is free. Breathe in your nose if you can. And everybody looks so good. I love it. 5. Yep. You might tuck your chin, Betty, just the tiniest bit. Yeah, just that little bit. So C1 occiput tends to hyperextend. You've just got a little chin tuck. Breathe in, lower down. We're going to do this 2 more times, guys. So get ready. Inhale. There's a little abdominal lift. And then you're going to peel your spine up. And your hands, your pinky side of your arms, can press into the foam roller. Good. You should feel your triceps. And Michelle, you are good. You might experiment putting the foam roller a little lower towards your wrist and just see if it helps you keep your elbows longer. Just experiment and see. You look better to me. See if that feels, more comfortable. That's good. Breathe in and exhale lower. Now we're going to do another hold. Get ready. Belly in. And here we go. Breathe and lift. Find a comfortable challenge for you. Let the breath expand that rib cage. We're keeping our respiratory muscles pliant. Breathe into the rib cage, the diaphragm, the apex of the lungs, the heart, the chest. Here we go. Inhale. Now on your exhale, lower down, and we're going to take a child's pose because that was a good extension series. So press back. You can take a child's pose, and if you're like me and you want your feet stretched, pull your toes under and stretch out those feet as well. Breathe in, and then come back out. Now this time you will not need your foam roller, so I'm just going to put it aside. We can use it later. The palms are now beside your hips, palms face down. So we're going to lift up the torso, and if you can, lift up the toes, and the knees are off the floor. So I'm going to give myself a little more room. Breathe, and every time you inhale, you're going to notice you float up a little bit. The inhale facilitates extension. You have a little scapular retraction, a little bit of the shoulder blades coming together feeling. The back of your shoulder feels like it's working. The thighs lift evenly. Breathe in, and then exhale, lower. Now we're going to add on a layer, so you could put your hands at your lumbar spine, either one on the other, or if you can, interlace. So I'm going to interlace and touch the palms. So if you can do that and keep the shoulders open, do that. If not, just rest your hands on the lumbar spine. Here we go. Come up. We're trying to add a shoulder opener with this now. Good. Good. Everybody looks good. I love the head positions. I like the breathing is dynamically lifting you, lowering you. Take another inhale. And then between this one and the next, we're going to take a windshield wipe. If you need a child's pose, please take it. This is just another release. And then we're going to do the letter T. So your arms are going to be like the letter T, and you're going to lift up your upper back and lift up your rear deltoid. So your shoulders are up, your toes are up. Your arms are a little higher than your back. You have a sense of cleanness or ease in your neck. And then we're going to push back into a child's pose. So you can take your hips back, toes under or not, your choice. Good job. And then come back out. So lie on your belly, you're doing great. Now this next one has some scapular mobility. Pretend that you're going swimming. You're going to make as big a circle as you comfortably can. And every time you circle your arms, it's as if you're swimming laps and you're going to lift your torso. So scapular mobility with that thoracic extension. Good. Those of you that want to add on, you can do a little flutter kick with your legs. Hamstrings and glutes are adding a flutter kick as if you're boiling water at the swimming pool. You've got a flutter kick that's steady. Your inhales lift you. One more. And then I'm going to have us do a recovery down here. You're doing great. So we're building strength and endurance on those muscles. Of course, anytime you need a child's pose, take it. Now we're going to lengthen the legs down. And I'm going to have us do triangles at our torso, at our head. So the knuckles are near the temples. When you lift your left shoulder, your right leg's going to come up. So this is the posterior oblique chain. Now when you lift your right shoulder, you're going to lift your left thigh up. Your left shoulder and your right thigh lift. So it's opposite, it's kind of like opposite arm, opposite leg reach when you're all fours. Left arm, right leg. It's extension with rotation. So your waist is long. You're not sinking your rib towards your pelvis. You're not doing a little hip hike. You're doing a lift, extension, and then a little rotation. Extension. And we're going to do that 4 more times. These are the muscles that we need in the sling we need with walking and running and hiking. 1 more. All right, guys, child's pose. Press back. Push your hips back. And we'll grab a sip if you'd like. We're going to do 1 more pose down there, and that's going to be the bow pose. The bow pose is an opener for the front body. So belly down, you're doing great. The belly's down, the right knee's going to bend, and see if you can find your foot. And remember, if you can only grab 1 foot, don't worry, we're going to do it twice. So hold on to your other foot or ankle, and then you're going to push your feet into your hands. You're going to lift up your torso and breathe. I'm going to take a look at you. Good. Everybody looks so good. Great. Shoulders are open. That's nice, Karen. 5, 4, atta girl. 3, you don't feel any tension in the neck. Lower for a moment. Now, if you had 1 foot, we're going to do the other one. So, Karen, you can grab your other foot. And if you had 2, we're going to do it again. Breathe in. Here we go. Up. Back body. Strong. Front body open. You might notice subtle openings. And then take an inhale. And then as you're ready, you can take a child's pose, or if you'd like to take a malasana, which is a squat, you can do that. So another way to do malasana without doing malasana is to do a happy baby. So find a pose that is appropriate for you. I'm just offering this squat or child pose or happy baby. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really nice. We're going to come up to our shins. If you'd like a sip, grab it. We're going to do a little bit of lateral flexion here. So what we do is work the core in different planes. And the shins are on the mat. So if your knee is sensitive, grab an extra mat. put it underneath there, but we're gonna go sideways here. So it's an inhale, that a girl, and an exhale. One neat thing about this is if you need it easier, you can always cross your arms here. If you need it harder, you can always take your arms up here. So you've got just your body levers to manipulate the situation. It's like you're in a toaster slot. All right, you guys, we're going to be adding a rotation. So we turn the torso towards that extended leg, dip down as low as you can get yourself back up. So you want to feel these obliques here. Feel your body contracting in the waist. 8, good, 9. We're going to find a place that feels appropriate for you. You choose, self-select your little pulse here, like a 2-inch pulse, 10 reps. Inhale, come up and over. Now this hand's on the thigh or the calf. Just try not to press laterally on your knee. So just above or below. Add a little rotation down and think respiration going to your ribs. Open up like a little clamshell looking up at the sky. And this is a gate pose in yoga. Take this top hand. Now the top hand, if you cannot reach, can always rest on your foam roller here or your knuckles. You can take your right arm up and your right arm back. Stretch through your hips. Lift up your hip, lift up your hip. Either stay here, or those of you that would like to take a Maldrasana variation, you can put your left foot on the floor, your right foot back. Please choose what's appropriate for you. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, we're going to gracefully transition to the other side. One leg's long. Take your option was fingertips by your temples, but the easier is here. If you need a modification or your neck's acting up, harder's here. Good. Betty, it's good to see you have internet again. That's great. Good. And Catherine, if your knee bothers you at all with weight on it, just grab an extra mat or a blanket or a pillow or something underneath your knee. The bones shouldn't hurt at all. And we're going to be adding on a rotation. So you dip and you rotate. Dip, and I'm going to show different variations with the arms. That's just so you can see different variations. You can choose what works for you. Waist, obliques. We are going to self-select our place to do 10 pulses. Feel like it's working for you. You got it, guys. Take another inhale. Let it bring you up. Hand to your thigh. Great. Keep going 10 and 10. Up and over. It's like you're lifting over a fence. Rotate down. That's a little bit more QL, that low back. Rotate up. That's a little bit more of those obliques. This helps with posture. It helps keep the shoulders open. Really breathe into the respiration, the intercostals spread out. And then this hand is going to come down. Now you might put your fingers, I like knuckles down a lot of times just to be a little easier on the hand, and then open up. Now I've got the foot behind, that's going to open up that hip. It's going to open up the shoulders. If you can't quite reach comfortably, grab a yoga block. Good, Karen, you're doing better. Lengthen through that elbow. Act like I'm pulling your arm, Shireen. You're welcome to stay here, or those of you that wanted a Maldrasana variation, you can take a side plank plus a foot back. If you keep going, you can even lift your heel. And this one's called Wild Thing. So 5, 4, 3, 2, inhale, and then exhale, transition down. Very good, guys. Let's grab a sip. So that was a nice little block of lateral flexion. We're going to do a little bit more on the floor like that. You're doing great. So pick a side, any side, and let your arm be your pillow. So that way your neck's not engaged. It's safe, I should say, it's neutral. So both thighs, I've got my hand here for proprioceptive. Both thighs come up. Good. And if your hip bone has any discomfort, one trick is to bend the bottom knee, or you can grab another mat or blanket or towel or something. All right, so that's your waist. You're welcome to do that. And if you want, you can add your upper body. So now I've got more lateral flexion. And this is one way. Fingers could help me is another way. This is a harder way. I'm doing 10 of these. Now, if you would like a little fun variation of coordination, you can do that banana boat 3 times. I'm going to try not to use my hands. On the floor, inhale, good, and then exhale up. So now we're switching to the other side. You could probably just turn over. I'm going to turn so I can see you. The arm is underneath the ear. That's just a way to keep your neck happy. So if you need a pillow, go for it. And up, and everyone looks good. I know when I first started these, I kind of did this extra inversion with my ankles. So if you are like that, just keep your feet glued together like you have something between your feet you have to hold on to. And that'll help just train the ankle in neutral. So I see everybody looks good. Your belly's pulling in. You can feel right here, if you're proprioceptive like me, oh, that's gonna tell it, okay, this is what I want. You can see your toes in your vision. The toes aren't drifting behind you. So you're biasing your abs, not your back. Neck soft. Now if you're adding on, I'm going to check my space. You can take a little upper body with that lateral flexion. So your spine, if you can imagine your spine is an elongated C. Good. Nice, Shereen. Shooting for 10 of those. Good. Just do what you need. You're definitely, you're using your obliques. You're not trying to pull your neck. Now, those of you that wanted the 3, sort of like a coordination, it's a banana boat. You can also do this with bent knees. I'm going to come down with grace. I'm going to come up, find a balance point. I'm going to come down with grace. Inhale, come up. You see, I'm trying not to throw my arms, and then relax. Nice job. Grab a sip. Really good. And we'll get on the back. If you have your foam roller and want to use it, this is a good place. Totally up to you. Let me move my doggy bear rug. All right, so if you, like Allison, if you don't want to work your legs as much, you might use the floor. Just see what is good for you. We are going to curl our lumbar spine up and down. And it is working hamstrings, glutes, but I like to really think about it for the low back too. It's such a nice exercise that you can feel the floor on, so you get this feedback of, can you articulate your lumbar spine? So you're going up to shoulder blade, and then you're pulling your spine down one vertebra at a time. And in the low back, you've got a posterior tilt in your pelvis so that you can feel one vertebra just past the ribs, then that second vertebra just past the ribs, the third, the fourth, all the way down, and then curl back up by pressing the lumbar spine, press peel into the floor, and then curling up. So even if you have to slow down, that is just fine. So make your lumbar spine, does that one make sense? I'm going to move my hand so you can see. Yeah, that's it. Now you're going to be coming up, and at this moment you can check that your hips are level. So the hips are level, and then for the glute medius, we're going to lift up the right leg, and you can point the toes of that top leg. Keep your hips level, drop all the way down, and then lift up, drop all the way down, and lift up. And you're going to try to keep your hips level so that we're working the glute medius. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now this foot is going to go down, and you can check that your hips are level. Take the other leg up. The glute medius is keeping your hips level. 2. Try to 3, coordinate that breath with movement. 4, that's so good for the parasympathetic system. 5, 6, wow, you feel calmly energized after exercise. That linking breath with movement, such a nice addition. 9, and then lift. Now lower that foot, take an inhale, curl down. And so your low back feels mobile, and then we're going to take the happy baby. I like to add the big toe pressing away from the second toe on this, so you can use your fingers to do that, just because that's just an easy joint that can deviate medially. So we're just kind of opening that big toe away. If you can do that with your pinky toe on the pinky finger, you can also push that away. So we're keeping those toe joints flexible, hamstrings and low back. Now we're going to extend the legs here, and the ankle or the heel is on the roller or the floor, and just lift up. So even lift and exhale. Good, so just feel a little different of a hamstring contraction, and you know you're not gonna lift as high, and that's fine. Feel like you're even. 9. And we're gonna hold the last one for a count of 10 up here. So 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then relax. So take a full body stretch, and I wanna give an option or a backup plan of doing bridges, or if you would like to add a little abdominal and spinal articulation, you're gonna exhale and come up, and then you're gonna bend the knees and then roll down. So you notice I'm in control. I'm not flailing my arms forward to make it happen. Breathe in and exhale. Curl. Pulling the, all I'm doing is rolling that foam roller in, and exhale. Curl in. Now we're going to add a little bit of an oblique. So inhale, and then take your arms more right, take your knees more left. So breathe, good. So inhale, we're going to switch sides, of course, and exhale. You got it. So feel some coordination. Exhale, abdominals. Good, you're in control. And exhale. All right, we've got one more each. That a girl, good Betty. And 1. Nice, Catherine, great. One more. And then the last series of that is start with your knees bent, and then exhale. When you come up, you're going to stretch over your legs. Good. We'll do 4 of these. And notice I'm not throwing the arms. If you need it harder, frame your ears, because that's a little longer lever. Weight further away from the fulcrum. Good. And one more. You're doing great. Nice, Karen. Up, over. And now the good stuff. Take your right ankle to your left thigh, reach your hands through your window, and grab that ankle, the hands, they're interlaced. You're welcome to roll the ankle or to rock the hip a little bit. So we're just gonna let some mobility be our focus. Breathe in, letting it go in your tension. 5, 4, 3, 2, inhale. Now we're going to take the other one, so ankle to thigh, reach your hands through, clasp your fingers, and rock it. 10. And one side might feel different. And if it does, you're welcome to stay there a little bit longer and make the class for you. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really good. We're going to take the left leg long, and you can use the roller or not. It's not a big deal either way. We're going to put our hands down, 6 circles one way, and then try to feel like you're lubricating that joint. A huge range of motion. If you happen to have any clicking, decrease that range of motion so to avoid that friction. 2. So we're rib down, meaning the ribs are on the mat like Velcros underneath them. We're going to take 6 the other way, around, so I've got some tone in my abs so that my low back's not arching up. Breathe in. Leave that leg in the air, and you can pull your toes back, so all toes, even the pinky toe. And if you would like a challenge, take your 2 fingers around your big toe, lift up your torso, and lift up your shoulder blades are off the mat. Your left hand could be on your left thigh with your left leg off the floor. If you need a modification, your hand can go behind your head, but your belly is pulling in, not doming up. Your right hamstring's getting a stretch. Your abs are on. Your left thigh is off the floor. Take an inhale. And then lower down, and we're going to take that whole series on the other side. Pour your right leg down like it's butter on a skillet. Draw a large circle on the left leg. Breathe in, ribs down. Good. Breathe in, ribs down. Now you're going to leave your leg up and you're going, or excuse me, go the other way on that last of that. So it's 6 clockwise, 6 counterclockwise. Pour your other leg down like there's straps holding the leg to the mat. There's Velcro holding the ribs to the mat. Now we're going to be leaving this left leg up. You could either just hold a stretch. You could take 2 fingers on the big toe. And you could lift up your right leg and your torso. So that big toe cue helps activate the tibialis posterior, which lifts the arch up and helps you preserve your arch. So that's why you'll see me sprinkle it in classes. I don't want us to have dropped arches. I want us to be able to train those muscles. So that's one way you can do it. You're pushing through the mound of the big toe, and you're helping that tibialis posterior preserve your arch. And then inhale. And then exhale. Let's take this inner thigh stretch. So hold your hands to your feet. You might even use your elbows to kind of wedge your thighs open. This is a pectineus stretch. I like to add a little rock here. Relax your pelvic floor, relax everything. Full breath. And then the legs are going to go up to the sky and glue together. So there's an imaginary ribbon between your legs. Plant your hands on the floor. And this is corkscrew. So I'm going to show modified, which is like a little circle that you're tracing on the sky. And then this is modified. And then if you want to take it more, you can do a hip lift here and then circle. A hip lift at 12 o'clock and then circle your clock. Classic corkscrew goes to shoulder blades. And then you'll roll down your right. So I need you to self-select what's good for you. You're never going to your neck. If you go up, you're going to shoulder blades. And notice I'm not throwing my legs. I'm controlling with my abs how I descend. So just self-select what's good for you today. Keep the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. We're going to do 2 more. And then hug the legs in. Good job. Now we're just going to do a little rock here, right and left, and then take a hand per knee. You're not holding tight, you're just lightly holding the knee so you can stir the thighs in the hip socket. And each way. Terrific job. Breathe in. And then let's come up for just a moment and grab a sip. You're doing great. Nice job. Hands are going to help you back down. I'm going to grab 2. So we shoot for 8 to 12 ounces of liquid during the class. Roll back down. So I'm going to slowly come back down. Now on this next series, I'm going to show modifications, so you can always stick with that layer first. So I'll show a modification of crisscross. So this is also single leg stretch. So it looks like this. Modified is more vertical, harder is more 45 degrees. Now you can come up, that's the classic crisscross, and you're always welcome to do a bridge here, or you're always welcome to leave the head down and do more vertical here. We're going to add a toe pulling back on this, so we're pinky toes towards your shin, big toe towards your shin, and just take 6 more. And as you're ready, come down and recover. So just rest for a minute. And I'm going to show the modification first on this next double leg stretch. Both arms and legs go up, and then you hug your shins. A little bit harder as both legs and arms go up, but they're a little further away from your belly button. And then the classic is you come up in your shoulder blades, you stay up, and then you inhale on this hard part. That's what makes it harder. So your inhale, you need to keep your abs on, so your inhale goes to your posterior lateral rib cage. You don't lose your abs. You're not going to diaphragmatically breathe here. So sniff into your side ribs so that you can keep your abs on. 2 more. 1 more. And then rest your head. And then we're just going to move our back a little bit or our hips a little bit. You're doing great. Right and left. Nice. And then single straight leg stretch will be the last one here. So lift up your leg and then take the other, and then that's a modification. You can certainly come up. Good. And when I say last, we're going to do 2 variations. So I'm going to show the hands behind the head now, and then you can add a rotation. 12 here. And then recover. Nice job. Let your hands help you come up, and you'll be seated. Good job, guys. So we'll just do a little, I'm going to sneak in a mermaid stretch here. So you can take, I call it double triangle or mermaid position. So left foot's touching your right thigh. Right hand can go across, so I have this X, like a safety belt across my body, and then the other arm comes up. So I'm going to just say it again because I know it's a lot of left and right. Your left foot's on your right thigh, your right hand's on your knee, and your left arm up and over. You got it. I know, yeah, there you go, Allison. It's hard because we're mirrored, but that looks good. And the main goal is that we have this, the KRA, the key result area is that we have this lateral flexion. Now, if you rotate down, it's a little more QL and rear delt. And then if you rotate up, it's a little bit more oblique. So I personally need them all. Now, this hand that's in the air is going to go behind you, and you're going to look over your shoulder. So this is rotation. I'm going to scooch up, but you're going to look over your shoulder. Upper back rotation is really important to preserve posture. When the upper back rotators get tight, we get more rounded forward. So we're opening up our upper back rotation. Use your floor as leverage, use your hand on your thigh as leverage. Now I'm going to go down, so it's kind of like I'm walking my hands down, sternum towards the floor. You can stretch out that top leg. See if you can find a stretch here. Breathe through that hip flexor, stretch out through that right arm. Pretend I'm pulling your right leg and right hand far away from each other. And then walk yourself back up. So did you guys all feel something in those postures? Did you feel a little bit? Good. So this is mermaid. I'm going to go through the rights and the left. Sometimes that's the confusing part. Right foot on the left thigh. Left hand is like an X on your body, and then the right arm goes up. So you have lateral flexion, and you're doing this thing called one lung breathing. You're trying to send the breath to that rib cage. If you're not sure how that's going, you can point your nostrils towards that lung, towards the rib cage, and that should help. Also, another trick is put your hand there and see if you can inflate under your hand. So we're going to get all of the alveoli, get all of those secondary respiratory muscles, primary respiratory muscles, pliant. Down, rotate just a little. Rotate up a little. See if you see what you feel. Good. Act like I'm pulling your arm. This hand that's in the air could go behind you. That's right, Karen. And then you're going to look towards your back wall. Upper back rotations are focused. The neck's just going along for the ride. It's like you're wringing out a wash rag. So good. Take another inhale, and then you're going to walk behind you, sort of walk down with your hands. Stretch out the left leg a little. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, inhale, and then gently come back up. Nice job, guys. We're going to touch this just for a moment. Take your legs out wide. So you can do your best, just do your best. Usually left arm in, right arm up, but if you need a modification, that hand could be on the outside. So just see if you can feel a little inner thigh stretch. Good. Just enjoy. Let your inhale breathe. Yep, just have fun. Enjoy. We're going to take another breath here and let your abs help you up a little bit, and then inside arm, go up and over, and just have fun. The lateral muscles might feel more open already. This is a great time to practice one lung breathing, where your nose can direct towards that rib cage and the breath goes to that lung. And just for unity or symmetry, we're going to go right down the middle. Now you might like your hands in the middle, or you might like your hands on your thighs. Just find a place that feels good for you. Relax. Breathe through your nose. Now as you're ready, gently come back up. I hope that felt amazing. Grab a sip, a little mobility block. If you didn't get enough yesterday on the Wednesday class, that was a touch more. We're going to do one called the rack. So the one arm goes up and back, and then the other arm goes up, 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 and back. Now the fingers are pointing away, and soften the elbows so that you don't hyperextend, and then lift your heart. So from the inside, lift up. You still have a pomegranate between your chin and your chest, so you have this safe neck position. Now the breath goes to the upper chest, upper back. And then exhale, and then let it go. Nice job. And then we'll just do a little massage for the hands, the carpals. Good. We're going to touch some of the planks here, and you're welcome to do them on any joint that you need. I'm going to do forearm and toes as a showing for the wrist modification. If you would like to be on your knees, you're welcome to as well. So that would be a shoulder lever, and then otherwise just hold. Now while you're in this plank, if you would like to add on what I call isometric squeeze, you can. And you're going to act like your forearms are getting closer to your toes, and your toes are getting closer to your forearms, or like you're pulling the mat together underneath your belly. So really nothing moves, but it does activate maybe 10% more. So that's an inside job contraction. Remember, the ear's in line with the shoulder here, the head's not falling forward. And then we're going to stretch it by putting the pelvis on the floor and your forearms on the floor, and you could put your hands on the mat. So swan to stretch it out. 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower. And now a side plank. and your elbow is down. So I'm going to fold my mat under just to protect that forearm a little bit more. Come up, breathe, good. Now staggered's a little easier. If you want a little bit more challenge, you can stack, and if you want a little bit more challenge, you can tree. Please choose the progression that's appropriate for you. Take that inhale. Now lower your hip. Good, I love how you're not collapsing at the shoulder, you're lowering at the hip. Other side. Now you can stagger the feet, you can stack the feet, or you can go into the tree. Good. Stretch out through your hand even. Head back, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Belly down, swan. And hold. Now this is going to be a 5 count, and then we're going to add on just a little bit. A slow-mo. Lower your torso. Then once your head's down, lift up both thighs. Just a hamstring activation, glute. Lower your toes, lift up your back, and then let your hands help assist you up. And then lower, and then lift up your thighs. And lift up your torso, let your hands assist you once your back can't lift you, and lower. So it's like a rocking swan. We're doing it slow-mo, thighs up. Another way to think of it is a rocking chair, like your body's a rocking chair. Once the lower body is down, the upper body's up. If the upper body's down, the lower body's up. So it's just like a whole posterior chain. Now, some of you might be craving to do the rock. And if you are, you're welcome to, where when you're up, your potential energy becomes kinetic and you maybe catch once or do a few. Please listen to your body. Do whichever variation you want. I'm going to do another slow to demo. And then on the last one, we're going to be holding it, sort of like we're setting the tone of our fascia the rest of the day. The chest is open, the neck is easy, the back is open. Breathe, setting that fascial tone, our posture for the rest of the day. It's like you're pre-paving an energetic success for the rest of your day. Heart open, chest open. Inhale, exhale, lower down. Now we're going to take a twist from here, rotation. So I'm going to lift up the left armpit and thread the needle underneath my right armpit. Now get ready. We're going to flip it and do a rotation. Right hand on that knee. I've got to move my mic, but you just do it. There you go. Left arm out, right hand on that knee. You're in a Matsyendrasana, it's called in yoga. You're in a rotational twist. Try to relax into the floor. Now take an inhale, and then as you exhale, we're going to roll back to the belly or the prone side, and then we're just going to do the other side. So we're coming to it a little differently. The left arm crawls underneath the right armpit hole, and then you're going to take the right arm out. The left hand can be helping that right knee stay down-ish, and then the waist is long. Relax. You're going to feel your hip. You're going to feel your pec into your delt, your spine, your upper back. And let your inhale come in through your nose. Have a long inhale and a matching exhale. So your inhale and exhale are matching lengths, ideally. It's just one of the breathing techniques. It's called Samavriti. Now we're going to be lying on our backside, and so you can just sort of shift, and you can gently pull your legs in together. And if you have that foam roller still, you'll want it for this one, and then a Dynaband or a Pilates ring or tubing. So I'll just demonstrate. We're going to do one of my favorites. You get so much on this. So if you lift your hips kind of like bridge and put the foam roller underneath the sacral area, one leg will go up and then one leg will pour down. If that pouring down doesn't feel good for you, then you might bend your knee as a modification. So there's a twofer here. Psoas, hammy, relax. Good. Yeah. And then when you breathe in, the breath is through your nose again if you can, and you're going to send it real low, diaphragmatic. You want to feel your low back is decompressing here because our pelvis is higher than our low back now instead of the other way that we are during the day. So you may take that leg across the midline. That biceps femoris usually needs it. Yeah. There you go. Atta girl. Feel your body just relaxing. You might even go out to the side. Foam roller is so nice. There you go. When you go out to the side, sometimes you get a really nice, a deeper hip flexor stretch. You can notice what your body needs today and then follow the gut. Good luck. And then you're going to take that other one up so it's like a switch. Yeah, switch. And sometimes I have to adjust my roller again. That's good. Just pay attention. That a girl, Catherine. Like, it's not going to stay perfectly still, so just do the adjustment you need. I like to sometimes bias the exhale on these when you're relaxing, so you get into it's like a catalyst for a calm state. Just like when you hear your dog settle in. That leg's going to go across the midline, and then outer hamstring will feel the stretch. Good. It may be that your leg's able to get closer now as you're warming up the hamstring or as it's relaxing. You might take that leg out to the side a little bit. Sometimes when you go far out, you feel your right hip flexor differently or your low hip flexor differently. So just experiment what feels great. I feel like they all feel wonderful. Take another inhale. Now we're going to do a double leg length over the roller. The modification would be both knees are bent, the deeper stretches, both legs are long. And for me, the foam roller is more underneath the gluteal crease where my glutes meet my hamstrings. That way the low back doesn't get too arched, but that looks good, Karen. Nice. Just sort of letting go now, and you feel yourself sinking or letting go. That looks good, Catherine. Good. These are muscles that are almost always in flexion, so it's really nice. They're also emotional muscles, like if you brace for something, these muscles tighten up. So it's a chance while you're really safe, you're in a wellness environment, that you can relax those muscles. Your back's going to feel so good after this. One more diaphragmatic breath. You can feel your belly expand. And then I'm going to slide my heels on the mat, just barely lifting up. So I'm not working hard. Now I want to notice our low back. Ha, the angels sing. And then we're going to do a thoracic extension, which is parallel or this way. Now, if you need a yoga block, go for it. If you would prefer a different lower leg, you can. So for example, bound ankles, one, a block under your head's one way. We're going to take another inhale here. And then you'll come out long enough just to feel your back here. So feel your back, feel your back, feel your back. And I want to take a quad stretch. So it could be that you lie on your side, or it could be that you lie on your foam roller long ways and you hold onto your foot if you're on your side. And if you're on your roller long ways, you fold your shin under. So Betty, I know which one you're doing. Yep, Michelle, that's it. I love it. Okay, this is great. So relaxing here. Good, Shereen. It's working. Yeah. Let me make sure everybody looks good. Yep. And as you're lying on your side, so Karen, your leg might drop a millimeter lower. Yeah, is that okay? Okay, good. So sometimes at first it's a little more lateral, and then you can breathe into it and it gives in a little. Another little cue is rib down and then pubic bone up, just so the low back, because it's such an easy area to get extensive, it doesn't take over. And we want the quad. Now we're going to switch it up. Your back's going to feel so good today. Oh, I can't wait. So rib down, pubic bone. You'll switch sides. Yeah. Good. And Catherine, you can probably feel your top shoulder is open. So when you're on your sideline winds, you can feel your shoulders open. If you're on the foam roller, you can put your arms like a Y, and you can kind of let the shoulders be part of this stretch. And then Karen, your legs like the other side, so if maybe it warms up, the knee might drop. It might, yeah, just like a millimeter, a half a millimeter. Now that breath. Now we're going to slide off of this here block or prop, and then if you want, you can use it for your sacrum, and your legs are in the air. Viparita Karini. So let your mind go. Fill up your tank with nourishment, with wellness. Feel that feeling of confidence, wellness, peace. We're going to release that foam roller, and we're going to come on up to a seated position. Take a moment and just lift up through your spine without much effort. Feel light and free. And we'll just take a moment to breathe in that clarity. So it's a moment free of past, a moment free of future, a moment free of identifiers or have-tos or obligations or shoulds. So just enjoy that peace and clarity of the present moment. And we'll take a moment to set an intention that anytime we need to clear our plate of past or future and just be in the present moment. We know that we can take a few breaths and reconnect to that part of us that's always peaceful and well. With so much appreciation to you guys. You did so good. Good job. You're really good at just going with all the different varieties. I just love it so much. May you have a great day. It looks like